Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Junk Food Zombie channel. Today I got a video for you, and I wish I could say it was overwhelmingly positive or happy, but it's not. I'm going to take two things and I'm going to put them together to make one video. One will run into the other. Bear with me, this is not scripted, but just, bear with me. Some of you know I like to support smaller firearms channels. Being a very small firearms channel, I like to support the little guys. So when my subscription feed comes up and I get a lot of videos, I try to make sure I watch the videos from the smaller channels first when I can. And those of you know Tennessee Matt, my friend, he's got a firearms related channel, mostly firearm stuff. So, I'll watch all of his videos, and I try to comment on them. And sometimes actually, most of the time I watch YouTube, I'm watching on my Xbox, so I don't have a means of commenting. So if you're one of the channels that subscribes to me, if I'm not commenting on your videos, it doesn't mean I'm not watching you. I'm probably watching most of your videos. I just don't always have a means of commenting when I'm watching. So that being said, there was another local channel around here. There's a guy named Wren who ran the Muscle Memory channel, and it was a firearms channel. It was a more serious channel. It was more based around tactical fighting, shooting kind of stuff. I ain't nothing wrong with that. I like all types of shooting. I do all types of shooting, and it's all good to me. So I don't cast judgment either way on the plinking end or on the super tactical end. Whatever you want to do. Hey, freedom is everything, right? Well, Tennessee Matt told me about this channel a little over a year ago, I guess, a year and a half ago. And I ran into this guy at the range. Young guy, early 20s. He actually just recently graduated college. Wanted to go to the Navy, become a Navy SEAL. Apparently he's pretty serious about it. Tennessee Matt just contacted me a little while ago, and he told me that this guy Jake Wren he's no longer with us, and it was kind of sad to hear. It was heartbreaking, actually. When I found out, and I don't have many details, it was a firearms related accident. I don't know exactly what happened. Doesn't particularly matter. His sister made a post on Instagram and mentioned something about an accidental discharge. Now, whether it's accidental, negligent, whether it was him, whether it was someone he was with, whether he was at the range, whether he was at home, none of that really matters because he's gone. No matter what happened, no matter the details, the world has lost a young man. And the few times that I ran into him at the range and talked to him, it seems like the world lost a good young man. And judging by the words his sister had to say about him, the world is probably quite a bit worse off without him. So it's really kind of sobering to hear this news. I ran into him a couple times at the range. I said, hey, I commented on this video under the Junk Food Zombie, and he's like, oh yeah, I remember that. We talked a little bit. Ran into him another time. I had my Scorpion with me, and hey, you want to shoot it? Yeah. So he shot it, and then I shot his rifle. We shot each other, shot each other's guns and discussed some equipment and stuff, and seemed like a good guy. And now he's gone, just like that. And it was sad to hear. So the first part of this video is basically kind of like a little tribute to Jake and his channel, saying, I'm sorry to hear about it. Not that his family is going to see this, but if for some reason someone in his family sees this, I am very sorry to hear about this. And I'm thinking about you guys. I'm praying for you. For some people that doesn't mean much. For someone like me, when someone says that they're thinking about me or praying for me, it means something to me. So knowing that, for me, it means something to me to tell you this. I'm thinking about you, and I'm praying about you, and I just hope that God gives you some strength in this time. Not that there's ever a good time of year to ever lose anyone you love. This is Thanksgiving, Christmas coming up. It's a really, really, really hard time of the year to lose somebody. So I'm really feeling for you guys. I am. So, you know, God bless, rest in peace, buddy. It's sad to hear it. So, you guys out there, you know, maybe go over to his channel and leave a comment or something. Spread a little love and just a little tribute to Jake and his channel. That being said, I want to use this tragic event to kind of segue into something, try to make something positive out of it. Let's make a learning experience out of this. Guys, I know I've got a lot of people who watch this channel. A lot is kind of a relative term. I'm a very small channel. A lot isn't really the best way to phrase it. I know there are people out there watching this channel, whether you're a subscriber or you just happen to run into this video. A lot of you guys are new. A lot of you guys are quite a bit older than I am, and I'm not that young. But I've got a few guys watching on a regular basis who are retired senior citizens in their 60s, 70s even, who've been shooting for longer than I've been alive. And I've been shooting for longer than some of you have probably been alive, longer than I'd like to admit. And it doesn't matter if you're new, and it doesn't matter if you've been shooting for 30 or 40 years or more, because newer shooters have a million things going on in their mind that sometimes safety might not always be at the forefront because they've got so much jumbled. Guys, keep safety in the front. Keep safety ahead of everything else, because without that, none of the other stuff matters. Okay, so if you're a newer shooter, before you head out on that range, think rule number 1, rule number 2, 3, and 4. Know those rules. Know what they are. If you don't know what they are, I've got a video on the 4 safety rules. There's probably a ton of other videos out there. It doesn't have to be mine. Know the 4 safety rules. Do everything you can to get them burned into your memory so that they're indelible. For those of you who have been shooting for a long time like myself, don't let your years and years and years of experience delude you into thinking that because you've been shooting so long that, you know, you're always safe because you're so used to being around firearms. People who've been driving for a long time still get into accidents. People who've been shooting for a long time still have accidents. You want to be safe not just for your sake, but for those around you. Just the same as you hope that everyone else around you on the range is being safe for your sake. There are a lot of guys and women, but I see it tends to be guys more who have been shooting their whole lives, who have gotten complacent, and they are completely oblivious to how unsafe they're being. If you've ever been to a range, if you've ever spent any decent amount of time at a range or a decent amount of time at a gun store, I guarantee you've seen someone who's obviously been shooting guns their whole lives take a handgun and point it at 3 people behind the counter and not even think about it, or hold the gun with the muzzle pointed at their hand. And I know, yeah, it's unloaded. We all love to hear that term, oh, but it's unloaded. If I had $1 for every time someone was shot by a gun that was unloaded, I probably wouldn't need to work anymore. We can't get complacent. New shooters, old shooters, it doesn't matter. Everybody has that risk of being hurt or hurting somebody else. So I'm not being a safety Nazi. There's a difference between some idiot who comments on your YouTube video and says, hey, you pointed that gun at the camera, like the bullet's going to come through the TV and kill somebody. If you want to shoot your own camera because you can afford to replace a camera because you shot it, that's your own business. If your camera is in a place where nobody's going to get hurt, I don't care. I'm not one of those people. I'm not going to freak out on you for stuff like that. But I'm talking about legitimately being safe and legitimate safety concerns here, guys. We've all seen it. Like I said, you spend enough time at a range or enough time in a gun store, and you'll see it. You'll see people pointing guns at the staff of the store all the time. I don't know the channel, but there's one channel, one YouTube channel, a gun channel, where they have, it's a store, a gun store that runs a channel, and they have a a jelly bean jar or something on their counter, and it's stacked full of rounds, live rounds. And they explain to you that every one of those rounds in that bucket came from a customer who came into the store with an unloaded gun. They say, "Oh, can I check your firearm?" "Oh, it's unloaded." "Okay." Rack the slide. Bullet falls out. That goes into the bucket. And it's a really good, sobering reminder of how complacent people can be. Just today, I was at a two-gun match. They started up a two-gun thing at the match, the range where I shoot IDPA. I wasn't shooting, but I had a friend who was, and I tagged along to check it out. We were pasting targets. A guy ran his stage, went down range with my friend, and about 4 other guys were pasting targets, resetting steel. I turned around, had a rifle pointed almost straight at me. It was literally, the guy was standing, he was an elderly guy, not elderly, but older, standing there with the rifle, like, hip fire position, like you'd see in, like, Vietnam videos, just standing there nonchalantly, and had a round gone off, and I'm sure the gun was unloaded, but doesn't matter. It would have been within a foot or less of my left side. That's unnerving. I don't care if the gun's unloaded. It's unnerving to turn around and see a rifle pointed almost directly at you. Now, the SO was far more lenient than I would have been, and I'm a very laid-back guy. I heard the guy say, "Oh, you just want me to wait here?" And the SO was, "Yeah, just do me a favor, though. You just lift the rifle in the air. So don't point the rifle down range while people are down there and until we're ready to go." If that were me, if I didn't send him home, he would have gotten an extremely stern warning. I wouldn't have screamed at him, but he would have damn well known what he did was bad and very bad. If that was an IDPA match, he'd have been in his car. He would have been gone. They would have sent him home. And they're not mean about it. They say, "Hey, I got to disqualify you when you point guns at people, whether you're breaking the 180 or you're pointing a gun at people who are downrange. That's a no-no. That's a big no-no. And they need to be that way because you can't risk that type of accident, because that type of accident kills people, as we see in the case of this young man I spoke about before. So guys, the whole "it can't happen to me" or "it's unloaded," part of my French, because you won't hear this from me on my channel really ever, but that's bullshit. Don't let it happen to you. Don't let it happen to someone you love. I care about you guys. I don't know you guys personally, but I get a lot of comments from you guys, and if you guys are the type of person who are gonna subscribe to my little rinky-dink channel and come back, see me yammer on and on and on for more than one video and keep coming back, then you're a special kind of person, I guess. And I care that people like you are safe. I care that everybody's safe, pretty much, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. So whether you're a new shooter, whether you're an old shooter, I don't care. This sort of thing, it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care what color you are. It doesn't care your race. It doesn't care your gender. It doesn't care your age. It doesn't care if you're tall, short, fat, skinny. It doesn't matter. We are all at risk of becoming victim to someone not being safe, whether it's you or someone else. And I know I'm going on about this. I'm not, this is not scripted. I'm just speaking from the heart to you guys. This is really important to me. Okay? This was a very sobering bit of news I got today, and it made me think about you guys, and it made me think about it would be errant of me to not mention this to you guys. So again, this is kind of a twofold video. I wanted to kind of pay a little tribute to Jake and his channel and his life, and use that as a sobering reminder, and use it as a lesson for all of us who are here to take to heart and learn something from it. So I'm sorry I kind of bummed you guys out with two negative videos in a row, between the video about my dad and this, but I promise the next one will be happier. So that's about all I got to say about that, guys. So please be safe out there around with yourself. Be safe with others. It can happen to anybody. Okay, this is a good example. What happened to me is a good example. I've got a good friend who had a negligent discharge in their home, and I'm talking about a person who was extremely responsible and extremely safe with their firearms, very safety conscious, and it still happened. You let one thing slip, and that's all it takes. Fortunately, nobody was hurt in that instance, but they could have been. So guys, be safe out there, all right? I love that you guys come and watch my videos and leave comments. I love interacting with you guys, and having a small channel is great because I can reply to pretty much every single comment, and I want to keep that going. So guys, be good out there, be safe, and I will see you on the next one. All right, bye.